This is Vigor. We're on Xbox Series X, taking a look at the game that has now been given a small update. So, in the past, this game has just run a little bit better on the Series X. It's got a dynamic 4K resolution, so it scales, and I mean, it should be hitting close to the native 4K the whole time when it comes to the quality resolution-wise. But what's different now is that the game has gotten a 60 FPS update. So that means, yes, the game is now running at 60 FPS. There's also auto HDR support, and we'll be showing off the game and talking about it in general. Now keep in mind that this is just like a bit of a partial update, if that makes sense. What they're actually going to do is take things a bit further, and they've mentioned that they're going to be doing things with a more of, I guess, an optimization further down the line that includes plans to increase the image quality to make it a lot clearer. Obviously, you've probably seen some pop-in and some slightly blurrier visuals. So they're going to be working on that. They're going to increase the quality of the shadows and sharpen the overall image as well down the line. So stay tuned for that. This game is also neat in the sense that it has cross-play with the Nintendo Switch, whereas PlayStation has its own sense of cross-play. So that is a separate experience. So Vigor is kind of neat because it's a game where you are basically jumping in, gathering materials, and then leaving if you want, or sticking around to fight for airdrops. And there's different tiers of, kind of improving your house. The whole point of it is to just kind of improve your home environment, and you do so with the materials that you collect while playing, and the materials that you earn, while you're actually getting stuff from your home area, which I think is kind of cool. So you get different crates from playing as well, some are ownership things, there's battle passes, because this is free to play. And there's lots of customization, and as you can tell, you can get my face on a bag in the game. I swear it used to look sharper than it does, but yeah, my face is a bag in the game, which I think you can still go and claim on the Vigor site if you search it up. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I don't see too many other people with their face on a bag in a game. So yeah, kind of a neat element. There's like a leaderboards and mementos, and then there's like a rotating store that you can spend your crowns on in order to get like customization things. Oh, there's a free anniversary bag. Yeah. Except I'm totally not gonna be dropping my my face on a bag for that. I tell you, that's not happening. But anyways, I think we should grab ourselves a weapon, and we should kind of get ready to go and fight. So you gotta kind of pick your consumables and whatnot. And if you die, it's permadeath, so you lose this kind of stuff. So, you gotta be a little bit careful with things if you want to actually make it out there. So let's do a bit of a snowy encounter, I guess you could say. And we'll talk about other stuff in the game as well. And you can turn Lone Wolf on or off. You can do duos and whatnot. It's interesting, actually, in concept. I think I'd rather do the train station. I find that one pretty cool gameplay-wise, but we'll show off a bit of the house. So there's other things to do here. There's like a Rubik's Cube, and I think there's an achievement for interacting with that. But you kind of improve your house over time. It's like this really broken down place, but as you, kind of level it up, improve it, fix things, you start improving your house so it doesn't look like it's all broken down. And this is a post-apocalyptic world, so obviously things aren't as good as they used to be, and you're just in this really colorful... Oh, there's actually a reflection on there. That is genuinely surprising. Didn't think they actually did that. But, yeah, you actually kind of earn certain things. Oh, that's where the crates are now. That's kind of cool. Alright, nice. But yeah, you're kind of just trying to fix things up, and you're trying to get things back on track, at least for yourself. And I mean, like I showed off earlier, there's this communal sort of donation box that kind of unlocks different tiers for people and everything like that, which is kind of neat. And yeah, let's just donate that all there. I mean, we don't need the food. It goes to Outlanders that are not so lucky. I don't know who takes it down there. Maybe we're just wasting food, but you know how it is. But we're going to skip to jumping into the encounter, so you can see some of that in action. So anyways, we're in a match. It actually took like 5 seconds after I stopped, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's actually got these really nice sort of vibrant environments that I think look quite cool with a good use of like color and vibrancy. And then, like I mentioned, you're kind of just going in here and you're just fighting other people. That's really all it is. There's not like any sort of intensity to it. You go in, well, I mean, there's some intensity to it, but I mean, like, gameplay wise, you go in, you fight, you take what you want resource wise, maybe kill people, maybe don't, and then you can just leave at any point. I'm pretty sure I saw a guy go that way. So you see the orange points, you can just kind of leave. There's different, like, comm radios and everything that you can interact with, points of interest on the map, and you could be, like, stealthy, you can be fast, you could be tactical, you kind of approach it however you want. And if you stay a while, you may actually end up, fighting for this airdrop that shows up on the map. And I think that aspect of it is pretty cool, that there's like this end game type thing. And eventually there's like this gas smoke that pushes everybody off the map. But you know what I'm saying? This is the core of the experience. Now, that being said, there's actually more to this than just that. There is also like a shootout area that you can engage with, which I think is kind of cool. And that's a mode that's more like deathmatch, so that's a good place to kind of get used to the different weapons in the game and test out your abilities against others. So there are shootout options. It's just kind of a little deathmatch thing. But the heart of it is this mode where you are basically, being strategic, gathering resources, trying to survive. And I think that's quite neat. I do find that they've decreased the loot quantity quite a bit in this one. It's a lot harder to find loot as you're going about in the world, surviving and whatnot. So keep that in mind. But yeah, you just get to kind of traverse these different environments. Some of them snowy, some are different like rock spots. I mean, it's not great for like tracking folks, but you know what I mean. It's kind of got like a variety of different types of like different environments that you can end up in. And I think that's kind of cool. And you can like hide in the trees, which is pretty funny, but yeah, it's got some neat kind of tactical play. Your guns tend to jump around a lot, so keep that in mind when you are, moving through the world and shooting others, is that your gun might have a lot of jump. I'm a little bit disappointed I didn't finish that guy off. I mean, he was a little bit off in the distance, so we're just going to have to keep our eyes open, because you can die really fast in this, and just in the blink of an eye, it's all over. You lose the stuff you've got, and they get to pick off from your corpse, right? So you got to be kind of smart about things, and yeah, no, I think it's actually kind of a neat free-to-play shooter. It's definitely something a little bit different. And I have checked it out on multiple platforms, so you can actually see like a review of Vigor on many different platforms on the channel. I've played it on the Switch, I've played it on the Xbox, I've played it on the PlayStation as well, which is actually my biggest review for the game, I think, is on the PS4. Which is kind of interesting if you think about it. That one has a lot of views. You'd actually be shocked about it. I think it's like 260,000 or something like that. I'm quite proud of it, needless to say. But yeah, it's just kind of a game that I've played since they first sort of showcased it, being an Xbox game preview title. And I always thought it was kind of neat and something a little bit different. I like the style of it. A lot of people compare it to, say, Escape from Tarkov or something along those lines. And I think, that's kind of maybe a fair comparison to make. I don't know if they have like I have like little footprints, but I don't know if I could track somebody that's gone this long from their footprints. It's just like, it's not great for like hunting folks. Like, obviously there was somebody here that I was shooting at, and I don't really see any footprints at a glance. So we're gonna keep going along here, just kind of looking for conflict and people to run into. Because I'm not sure if I want to show off additional levels in the review. I mean, I think you kind of get an idea of the look and everything like that. But we'll probably die or kill someone and end up having to show off a bit more. But let's head to the central train area to kind of showcase that. And again, getting a great look at this this bag I have here. Wow, what an amazingly sharp gentleman right there, I gotta say. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, who wouldn't want this kind of bag on your character? It's great. It's glorious. And I hope it never vanishes, because this is like my one big thing here. I love this. Anyways, there's a lot of different like tactical shooting ways to play, and it's not bad. I basically compare it to, if you've played DayZ, this is sort of the faster, more action-packed kind of spin-off almost of that, if that makes sense. It's just smooth. The mechanics feel a lot quicker paced. And it's just kind of neat in that regard, especially, like, again, coming from like a DayZ background where I played a lot of DayZ and stuff on the channel. you can definitely be like, oh yeah, you know, this feels a lot like it. It kind of looks a lot like it too. But I gotta say, you know, having that increased frame rate is kind of really awesome. The game felt very slow beforehand, and I kind of hope they maybe bump it up even more. I don't see why not that they couldn't provide, say, a 60 FPS mode that looks really good, and maybe also a 120 FPS mode that just is really fluid and doesn't necessarily look as smooth. Because I don't think there's a reason why it shouldn't be able to do that. And again, it's not optimized yet. This is just like a minor sort of upgrade for the game if you think about it in the context of like quick improvements. That's what they're trying to do with this one. And that's definitely appreciated. And like I said, the fluidity here feels, you know, much, much better than it did. And I think that's definitely appreciated for sure, especially if you're a fan of the game. Because I was always under the impression, from details of what they said, was that it wouldn't be fair to the booby trap. You know, I was always mentioned it was like not fair to other other platform players, aka the Switch with that crossplay. That's why the Xbox version was kind of stuck at 30. And it seems like, you know, suddenly all of us, you know, that's totally fine. It doesn't matter, I suppose, to some degree, all of a sudden. It's just cool. So that's kind of a nice option, I think, for those that want to have that higher frame rate. I mean, I definitely appreciate the option. I think it makes a big difference gameplay-wise to be able to have that. And hopefully they continue to deliver that improved quality in the future. I'd really like to see, you know, what that version has to offer. And like I said, you know, kind of stay tuned. I'll definitely be showing that off down the line, because I think there's a lot for that to offer gameplay-wise, and I'm very curious to see what they do with it. But there you can see I killed that guy, and it was just like a quick second thing, and it's, you know, they're basically dead. A good thing I went for the sneak route on that one. It could have ended up badly for me if I would have went into that room kind of unprepared and whatnot, right? But yeah, you kind of kill folks, you collect resources, and then you can just choose to exit. So that's what we're actually going to do now, is we are going to exfiltrate out that way. We're going to make our way across. It's a little bit dangerous and whatnot, but that shows off a bit of the game and also allows us to get out of here to a degree as well. I could get shot, I mean, who knows, right? And there's probably going to be an airdrop flying along, and it'll be booby-trapped and whatnot, but I really don't need the airdrop. I mean, I'm not as, you know, as intensive as others might be in this one gameplay-wise. Obviously, I want to get stuff to improve my house over time. And I imagine as I continue to, like, review it and whatnot, eventually we'll get to a point where Oh, wow, there is that thing going. See, the big risk is, it's like, risk versus reward. Are there going to be other survivors out there going after it? Am I going to die? I mean, I do actually have a good, healthy amount of resources that I'd like to exfiltrate with. So it's a neat kind of thing to think about. Risk versus reward, right? It's like, am I going to come out on top? Or is this going to be a big negative thing for me? There it is. So kind of dropped the care package over there. And like I said, with the comm center and whatnot, that actually changes things up a little bit further. And the dynamics of the combat are really quite neat in that, because it's like, who's going to be left? Is anyone going to go grab the airdrop? There's times where I've felt that there might have been other people, went and grabbed the airdrop, no one there, and then just walked out with it to discover like everybody had already left or everybody had already died. And I think that's kind of a neat element to it that just keeps you almost guessing, if that makes sense, because it's all surprise, a lot of luck. And it's just quite neat to have these different, you know, challenges and different people to face off against. And I do think it's kind of a neat game. It's definitely got some different elements and mechanics to it, and some fun. And like I said, you could do the deathmatch and whatnot, and you can train and get used to weapons. I'm not huge on that mode. I mean, I think it kind of takes away the spirit of it. But if I was trying to get like a hold of weapon, understand it, and appreciate it more, or get a better handle on how it shoots, I would think the deathmatch would be a good option, because it just kind of rotates a bunch of different options for combat and whatnot. We're going to be a little bit bold, and we're just going to kind of go in for the airdrop, I guess. Why not, right? We'll take a look around, but I don't know who's alive, who's not alive. It's kind of neat. There's a guy. Wonder if they see me or not. Wonder if that was a death blow. Kind of looked like I hit him a little bit hard there.
When looting the airdrop, always be cautious. Other Outlanders may be watching.
Ah, that guy had a lot of stuff. Oh, and I didn't see that coming because I got too intense about the looting. Can I see who else is still in the match? No, there's actually a few people still kind of going along, doing their own thing, trying to survive. Maybe try to grab the airdrop. That's really quite interesting. Like, they're still even scavenging. So yeah, I just lost everything that I had earned there. I mean, you can buy like some pre-game type things like insurance because it is a free-to-play, or you can increase the resources on the map as well. You know, there are different options and different things going on, and I think that's kind of neat, those mechanics and how everybody faces off. And now with this improvement to the, the frame rate, I think that's, really well appreciated. I quite like that that option is there. I will follow up with a future update as well, and keep in mind that fresh content comes for this game all the time. It's kind of cool.